welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UK OCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
You're listening to the 19th most popular podcast, whose Spartan listeners know they could survive in the wild by gathering only the moss from rolling stones.
Ian, my friend, I'm back. Welcome to the Swift Half.
Welcome back, Alan. How was your night of culture?
My night of culture was mixed bag, I'm going to say. So first of all, long trip over to Manchester. Can't believe it. Normally an hour's journey takes me 2 hours to get to Manchester. It took me 2 hours. Normally it takes me an hour. Not too bad. It was rush hour trying to get over there, if you know what I mean. Struggled to find the place we wanted to eat at, but managed to find a really good place called Almost Famous for a burger. And then the show, The Night of Culture, it wasn't really what I was expecting in. It was basically just someone singing, or a group of people singing and dancing. And I wanted to see a bit of acting, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
So there was no storyline piecing it all together. It was just someone singing to show tunes?
Yeah, mainly Irish tunes. So a lot of Irish tunes, a lot of Irish dancing. And they finished off, it was called Fairy Tale of New York. So they finished off with Fairy Tale of New York. I don't know. I just wanted a story. I wanted a story. It just seemed to be 2 hours of literally just singing songs, Irish songs. And there was just no story whatsoever behind it.
Is the story that they managed to con people into purchasing tickets for something that they thought was a play and was actually just music?
Probably, mate. You know what disappointed me? The biggest thing that disappointed me, it wasn't cheap to go and watch it. All right. It wasn't cheap to go and watch it. You know, Paula bought it as a present and everything else. But it was quite a pretty, I want to say it was packed out. Yeah, the theatre was packed out, massive, budget they got to do things with. But the week before, we went and watched Crazy For You, right, which was put on by the Teachers Acting Association. So they're all teachers that get together. So it's, I want to say, an amateur performance, an amateur group, you know what I mean? However, the dancers in this amateur group were better than the dancers in this big performance. You know, the big performance, they weren't in time sometimes, you know what I mean? They weren't together. Where in the amateur performance, it seemed to be everything was slick, as though they rehearsed it, you know what I mean? They were trying their hardest to get it right, and they got it right. And it disappointed me that they weren't as good, because I was expecting professional dancers to be better.
Anyone would think this was a shameless cash-in on the name Fairy Tale of New York.
It probably was. It probably was. But I'm back. After my night of culture, I am back. And we had some standings last week.
We did, but before we go on to the standings, I actually had a night of culture myself while I was down in London for High Rocks. Last minute, Jen got tickets for Starlight Express. Have you ever seen it or heard about it?
Never seen it, but I've heard it's quite good. It's about a train, if I remember rightly. Not sure what, but isn't it he's a steam train, and doesn't he race against other trains that are very much like the newfangled electric and jet powered and things like that?
Yeah, pretty much. It's most famous for the fact that it's on roller skates, and it is someone dreaming this because, of course, you don't really have steam trains racing against anything, at least not in the UK. They can't move that fast. But yeah, it is, and we're all on roller skates. But I will say, Alan, because I've not been feeling well, as you know, and as listeners to other shows know, it felt like a fever dream.
And they've got really bright lights, and don't they whiz round between the audience? There's some ramps between the audience that whiz round between them.
Absolutely. What's interesting about it is I think the show was made in the 80s, and even though it's been updated, this is a new version of the show, you can still tell this is what people in the 80s thought people in the 2000s would be wearing. You know, the big shoulder pad type things, fancy colours, mohawks. You know, it looked like a cross between Strictly Come Dancing, Dancing on Ice, and Mad Max.
Yeah, bit of Mad Max thrown in. Oh, we're going to strictly come dancing Mad Max style.
It was really, really good. Definitely worth watching. My advice, if you do fancy it, listener, is we were actually in, it's not the royal box, but do you know how the royal box is on the side?
Yeah.
We were in one of those areas. It wasn't a royal box, there was like 30 people there, but that gave you a view of everything. Whereas you can sit like in and have them whizzing around your head. But I felt if you sat there, you'd miss stuff.
Okay. Yeah. And you couldn't get up to the toilet because the man to run you down.
Exactly. You had to stick your hand up if you wanted a toilet, and then you weren't allowed back in. But yeah, it was definitely worth going, and it's on in London. And if you're looking for a different night of culture, it is worth watching. Will say, initially, I was like, oh my, I said it's a fever dream. And it's like, I thought it was going to be similar to what you told me about Fairy Tale of New York. I thought it wasn't going to have much of a story. It was just, look how cool all these people are. And there is a story. It's more basic than a Disney story, but there's still a story there.
We're going to try and book that. I love going to the theatre now. Now I've been a few times now, and I think it's just really good. It's just really good fun, and it's different. Talking about different, I'm doing something really different this week. Something I haven't done in over 42 years.
Wow, can I guess?
Go on, you can have a guess. Yeah, I'll give you a guess.
Well, given you from Yorkshire,
Bought around. You can't say bought around.
no, it's not bought around. Is it time for your bath because showers cost less money and thus you've been taking a shower for the last 42 years?
Good thinking. Yeah, that's probably what us tight Yorkshire people do. But no, I am going ice skating.
You're going ice skating? Where are you going ice skating?
In Sheffield. So there's a place called Meadowhall. Most people who have been up here know Meadowhall. It's a very big shopping area. They've got like an outside fairground and like a Christmas wonderland going off between now and Christmas. So I managed to get some tickets to go 45 minutes of ice skating around this Christmas wonderlandy thing. So yeah, not done it since I was 13-year-old ice skater. So it's going to be a whole different experience.
Is it not funny when you think about it? There are actual ice rinks in the UK that are begging for people to go there all year round. There's one in Altrincham, there's one in Sheffield, I know there's one in Blackburn, and yet we're all, no, not that. But Christmas comes along, they put these temporary things up, and I'll have some of that.
Yeah, you're quite right. You're quite right. It is. I guess it's one of them things, isn't it? We look at was it the New York? What's the big park in New York where they do it, isn't they? And we all look at that and think, oh, it's Central Park. Yeah, they do it in films, don't they? And we'll probably think a bit romantic in there. This is Central Park
in Sheffield.
In Sheffield.
In Meadowhall.
Meadowhall.
The big
in a car park.
Yeah, the big question, of course, Alan. Will you use one of the plastic penguins to help you get round?
No, I am going to go and I'm going to try and do it on my own. Might end up on my backside several times, but doing OCR, we end up on his backsides quite a lot. So I am not worried about that. It's going to be really, really good.
Can't wait for it. I will start the auditions for your replacement just in case. And yeah, we held kind of auditions last week, as you mentioned. We have the Accountability Corner guys. Probably wouldn't use either one of them because I don't want to take them away from their own show. But thank you again to them for popping in and doing a great standing job.
We should put more people, not more people in charge, but when one of us is not here, we usually get friends in, don't we, to do it. Maybe we go to like some of the other podcasts, like Good Talking Dirty, and get Megan in.
Absolutely. I think we've had Megan once when you were in, and she did really well. I enjoyed having Megan on. That was an interesting show. But yeah, I will say the one thing about the Accountability Corner that in hindsight I didn't like is they did mention their show again and again and again. We'd never, ever push our personal projects like Farmyard Jam or the Overlord Run, or UKHXR in here, would we ever, Alan?
Never. And Uzop never get a mention. Pint size OCR never get a mention. Obstacle racing media never get a mention. Get stumped. Never gets mentioned. We don't mention any of the things that we ever do.
Exactly, Alan. We never tell our audience if they head over to Overlord on the Google machine, you can now enter for Farmyard Jam for next year for the low price of
At £40.
perfect. But it's a shame no one will ever know because we never mention it.
Never ever mention it whatsoever. And Patreon, we never mention Patreon or buy us a beer, like anything like that.
That genuinely is something we neglect to mention. Oh gosh, should we talk some news?
No, let's talk about what you're drinking first. I haven't asked you what you're drinking. We've gone right down a rabbit hole then about theatre and that. I don't even know what you're drinking tonight.
Well, I'm still ill. I'm actually in the orange juice, like literal one-stop orange juice, 100% pure squeeze. Although I don't believe them because it's not got the bits in. So how can it be pure squeeze? They must have done something to it.
Yeah, not got bits in it. Don't they strain it? Do not strain it when it.
They may do, but surely that means it's no longer pure. I'm not sure. I'm not an orange juice expert. Do you reckon we have any orange juice expert listeners?
Maybe we do. I've got a blender that I put oranges in, and I've got to admit, once it does it, you get very little like stringy bits in or pips in it. If I leave it on for a good minute, make like a good smooth, like without putting anything else in it, just the oranges and a little bit of water, it comes out really, really smooth. So maybe that's what they do. Maybe they just blend it constantly.
You've put some apples in. Do you get cider?
Oh, I've never tried that. Put apples. Hey, you're going to get me caught. I'm going to end up doing this now just to see if I do. I don't get cider, I know that, but I'm going to ferment it first, aren't you? But
so speaking of fermenting, what are you drinking?
I'm on Estrella Zero Alcohol. Found it in the bargain bin in the local off license. 6 cans for £4, I think. So I was like, oh, let's have a little bit of that. 6 cans, £4. It tastes just like Estrella, like a Spanish beer and lager. So yeah, zero alcohol. Very good, very good. Like it.
No, I went to Brewdog this weekend with the solo mudders, so with Joanne, with Will, and with Mike, and of course with Jen. I had a hot chocolate and an apple juice. That's how ill I've been.
Oh, Ian. I reckon it's because you were sat near that jukebox last week in the corner, catching a cold.
It's true. They didn't put the heating on.
That's what it is, mate. That's exactly what it is. Let's go with some news then. So, this week I'm going to talk about races first of all, Ian, because we've got some races coming up, and we have got the UK OCR series. We launched Tough Mudder, and it is a separate wave to all the other waves. So Tough Mudder 26th of July we've launched, and the UK OCR series. It is currently £75, and I think it'll be £75 up until Christmas, I'm told, and then it goes up. So if you get in before Christmas, it's £75. It is a special deal purely for the UK OCR series. It's a little bit cheaper than the normal waves. Remember, you've got to be a member of British Obstacle Sports on 26th of July. So people know what our first 5 races are now. Hopefully, we're going to get the 6th, 7th, and hopefully 8th sort of very, very soon. We've just got some contracts to sign and a little bit more negotiations to be made. But I want to give a shout out to all the race series that's happening, because a lot of them are actually well ahead of us now, Ian, and they've announced quite a few of them. We're a little bit behind, if I'm honest. So shall we name some of the race series?
Absolutely. But before you do, this is probably my annual reminder to James can you double check my membership? And if I need to send you money, let me know.
Check mine as well, James. No, I think he got me at Farmyard last year. He made me sign up for 2 years at a Farmyard, or he said sign up now for some reason, and I had to give him some money at a Farmyard. He got me, Rob, and Jamie all to sign up with him. So well done.
Well done, James. But yeah, I am terrible when it comes to this kind of thing. I do support British obstacle sports. Sadly, I am just really bad with admin. Actually, Alan, an example of how bad I am with admin, when we were on our way to London this week, we set off on Thursday. We were catching a train down. I had to turn around and go home. Guess why?
You forgot your passport to get passport for Gap.
Close, but no. I forgot that my credit card was expiring on the 31st of November, and my new one was still on the side arm of the chair in the envelope, unopened. So I needed to come back and get it because otherwise, by Sunday, I wouldn't be able to buy anything.
Oh, and how far did you get before you had to turn around?
Only 200, 300 yards. I
All
was
right.
I was not that far away, but yeah, with a suitcase and that it wasn't fun. But yeah, that's how bad I am at admin. So it's not just British obstacle sports who get a short shrift. Everything in my life gets that treatment sometimes. So Alan, these races, give them a shout out, please.
Yeah, so starting off with the Scottish OCR series, which is on January the 4th over at McTuff, 15K. First race out. I love McTuff. I don't know if you've ever been, Ian, but I love the start of it when it's a mass start, huge mass start. 11 o'clock start it is, so it's not too early, so a lot of people can get there. And they have the brass band playing and everything else. Knuckle racetrack up there, absolutely brilliant. They have different races as well, 7K, 15K, 21K, for non-competitive, but it's the 15K on Saturday, 4th of January at Knuckle Race Circuit, if you want to be in the series over there. And then March 29th, they're going to Tartan Warrior for the 3K series. And on the 30th, Tartan Warrior 8K as well, which is also part of the UK OCR series as well. So we're actually trying to tie things in here and there with some of these races. And then the next one they've got is June 8th, which is Spartan Scotland Beast 21K. So 4 great events announced up there so far. The 3K series, now I think this is fully announced now, so great news on this. They've got them all tied in. March 29th, Tartan Warrior. Again, everyone's going up there for that. April 27th, Nuts down at Camelot Events. May 25th, Rumble Fitness. July 26th, Body Hub. That's the same date as Tough Mudder we've just mentioned. Actually, different ends of the country. So, I think it's going to be quite easy for people. If you live near Body Hub, you're probably going to go to Body Hub. If you're a 3K runner, you're going to go down there as well. If you're looking more at going into the longer distances and want to compete in the UK OCR series, you're going to go up to Tough Mudder, or if you live up north, I think it's quite easy. We couldn't avoid this clash, so sorry to people who want to do that. August 30th, Nuts Challenge. September 28th, Fit Body Farm 3K, and September 28th as well, the PT Barn 3K. So they've got 2 there at the end of the season. One again up in Scotland, one again down south. Sometimes you can't help clashes, can you?
No, you can't. And we've always been sympathetic to race directors when they happen. We'd all love to have crystal balls and be able to say, oh, well, this date is for this race. But unfortunately, there's more than 52 races in a year. Thankfully, there are more than 52 races in a year. So some are just going to clash.
Definitely. And then we've got the Endurance Series. So the Endurance Series, March 1st, starting down at Winter Nuts. 4 laps of Winter Nuts is back. That's for the serious athletes, that, Ian. Going to be interesting. I haven't read the rules on that as well, because I don't know whether you have got to complete 4 laps to get your points or whatever, but those will be announced nearer the time. June 28th, World's Toughest Mudder. I'm going there. July 26th, Tough Mudder Infinity. July 26th, that will be up in Yorkshire again. So again, we've tried to tie them in with events up there. So that's up in Yorkshire. August 23rd, Farmyard Jam, 48 hours. If anyone can get to 48 hours, people know it's a last man standing event. So I think that's a good place to pick up some points this year. If you were a good runner and can last a while running 5 kilometers on the hour every hour, I think it's a good place to pick up points. We don't get the top runners. Probably watchers this year we will do, but I don't think we will. Currently only 40 quid to enter, like I said. October 3rd, Spartan London South Ultra. So they're all done. They're all done apart from the UK OCR series, which has got a little bit more work to do. So, Ian, I need to get on with this work.
Checking, of all these series, we're only responsible for UK OCR series.
We are, yes.
And it's not yet organised.
No.
You can't say, listener, we do not keep to brand.
Yeah, we don't. And we're talking about that. The awards are not organised yet either. So we're coming close to the awards in. We've announced nominations this week, which close on Sunday. So as you listen to this the weekend, close on Sunday, get your nominations in, because we're going to start with voting over the Christmas period. We'll do it over the Christmas period. We're going to go 10 days of voting this year, so that we finish in early January, so we can get the medals ordered, get the trophies ordered and everything else before we have the awards night, which is yet to be confirmed. I'm chasing it every day at the moment, and the guys on holiday who's supposed to be organising it. So I might go somewhere else if we can't get an answer.
Is the backup plan barbecue in Barnsley?
That would be a good backup plan. That would be a good. I have got some ideas for backup plans, but it might need a bit of short notice and a bit of work to be done. Let's see what happens. There's some ideas for backup plans. Don't want to give secrets away and give people false hopes.
That makes sense. And the ultimate backup plan, Alan, is we go back to the future and we record it virtually again.
Exactly. Oh, and we might, you know what we could do, Ian? So this is a serious backup plan now. If it doesn't work, if we can't get the venues that we want, we could do a road trip. That would be good fun. We do a road trip one weekend around the country and call it everyone's house who's won.
That actually could be quite fun, to be fair. And then record it and have a watch party for everyone to just watch it happen. Swear the winners to secrecy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Can you imagine? It'd be like Max and Paddy.
It would be fun, that, wouldn't it? Maybe I could see if I can get the bus back, the old UKOCR bus back, and we'll go around in the bus.
Yeah. Although if we have that backup plan, there might be a mysterious number of nominations in the M62 corridor.
I like that. I'm going to talk one more event though, Ian, before we jump onto some other stuff. So coming up, we have got Jack's Field Fit thing coming up. Is it the 14th? It's only 2 weeks. It's only a week away when people listen to this. So I've got a bit of news on this because I was hoping to get Dave on, but he actually is busy doing stuff. So there's going to be three main components to this event, Ian. So first there's going to be a warm-up and an endurance. So participants will be split into smaller teams to compete together to complete as many laps as possible as a team of a preset endurance course consisting of running and obstacles, and there'll be some small challenges on the way. Then there's going to be a strength section. Each team will work together across a series of strength challenges on course and aim to complete as much as possible in a time limit. And then section 3, it's a solo. Individuals set off and take on more technical obstacle course with a set challenge in front of them with a choice of an A or B route. So one's harder than the other. The main aim of the event is for each individual to stick to it and try to complete the day before quitting. It's like a miniature OCR games, I guess, which is, when anyone knows the OCR games, is an absolutely amazing event.
That does sound super fun. And you will have the added thing of just wanting to go as far as you can for Jack, won't you? But Jack will want you to go as far as comfortable.
As far as comfortable, yeah. I mean, we look at things and it's only 30 quid for an adult. This is one of the deals on this. And I mean, £30 for an adult. Juniors, which are 10 to 13-year-old, 20 quid. You know, absolute bargain, isn't it? You know, if you want to go to J Crushing Cancer on Instagram, make a donation, and then let them know you're going to enter. But you know, the big thing I like about it, Ian, there's going to be bacon butties on the morning. So anyone who gets there early gets bacon butties.
What a great idea. I really wish I lived that little bit closer because I would be there with bells on. Not literal bells, but I would definitely be there. But sadly, all I can do is send my support and my donations.
All right. I agree completely. Me too. I'm going to make another donation this week. And then lastly, after the event, they're going to make the draw for the raffle live, and it's going to be on the UKOCR Facebook page. So if you bought tickets for the draw, get on that at the end, because I think the way they're going to do it, you're going to get to pick your prize. So if you got picked out first, you can choose whichever prize you want first, which I think that's a great way of doing stuff. Rather than say this is a top prize, second, third, and fourth, you get to choose, because sometimes you might not want the first prize. The second prize, you know, might be a bit more beneficial to you.
Yeah, especially if it's like alcohol, you know. Some people might not want 2 bottles of beer or 3 bottles of wine.
Exactly. I mean, some of the things they've got is like Yoga Ability, a free class. Maybe that won't be for me, But nuclear race is a family of 4 obstacle induction day pass. I'd probably take that. You know what I mean? An 18-litre speed pack light running pack. Great deal, buy it on. Things like that are great. So it's a great raffle. I'm going to get on there. Anyone who's got on there, get on there and join the raffle. Choose your prize.
No, exactly. Talking about prizes, but not so much prizes. Let's talk about gifts, if that's okay, Alan.
Oh, I love a good gift, Ian. Oh, it's Christmas time. It is the time of giving.
It is the time of giving. And those in the pub know we've been doing a Secret Santa. Alan, you'll be proud of me. I finally got round to ordering mine. You'll be very proud of mine. And I will say, isn't Amazon an absolute minefield of trying to upsell you stuff nowadays?
It certainly is. I mean, I am a big Amazon fan. I'm going to turn around and say I use Amazon quite a lot. I tend to, if I'm out, I don't know if you do this, I might have mentioned this before, but if I'm out buying in shops and I think, oh, that looks a bit expensive, I'll have a quick look on the internet, see if it is cheaper anywhere else. Sometimes it's not, but then sometimes it is. And Amazon's great for getting deals. People don't appreciate how good Amazon is. I'm a Prime member, so I get next day delivery as well.
That makes sense. I'm not a Prime member, so it was a minefield because after I bought the present, it was like, I don't know, spend £4 more and you get free delivery.
Yeah.
Okay, because we had a deal on. So yeah, the person I've got has got slightly more than £15 because I spent the extra £4 to get free delivery. Okay.
Yeah.
But then when I did that, it said, oh, you have got, because there was a few bits that I bought, you bought 2 out of 3 qualifying purchases, buy another qualifying purchase to get 5% off your entire order. And it's
So
like, no, I didn't. I relented, but it's just, it's a minefield. And something else that's a minefield, Alan, is buying presents for your family. And that, particularly guys, and we are the worst to buy for. Would you agree, Alan?
Without a doubt. Paula is constantly on me at the minute. What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? And I don't know what I want.
No idea.
No, not a clue.
That's the problem. Eventually, and younger listeners, you've got this to look forward to. If you're lucky, you get to the stage where anything you want, you've either decided you can do without, or you can buy it.
Yes, that's absolutely spot on. And the thing, there is one thing I do want. I don't mind saying this, which is a new watch. So currently my Fenix is 2 years old. So I'm thinking it's now time to upgrade it. It works absolutely fine. It's not scratched. It's in really good condition. So I'm thinking I can upgrade it and get something else. But I don't really want someone to go and spend, that much money on me for Christmas. I just want to buy it myself.
Yeah, and it's difficult because getting you like Amazon vouchers to go towards it just seems impersonal, doesn't it?
Yeah. What did you have in Christmas Secret Santa? Don't tell me, I'm only joking.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not rightly sure. I just looked what they wanted.
I did. I've got to say a big thank you to Will for setting that app up that he got us on that name drawer or something. Because people could put the gifts on that they wanted. So it made it super easy for me to choose for the person I wanted, which was quite interesting because I was looking to buy them something like they wanted. And then when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's easy. There we go. I didn't put anything on mine. Because I don't want anything. I'm like, I joined it for the fun.
I'm the same. And to be fair, it was tactical. I apologize to whoever was yours and my Secret Santas in advance. I knew you'd probably not put it on. I didn't deliberately because honestly, I think it will be hilarious. Well, it'll either be super sweet or hilarious of what we get because we've not suggested it, if that makes any sense, because you're not going to hurt our feelings. And
No.
we will absolutely appreciate the effort you've gone to. So it was, would you agree? It was quite deliberate. And yeah, it'll either be really, if you've gone funny, thank you. If you've gone super sweet, thank you.
Yeah. Either way, I just can't wait. I'm thinking live show on 18th. We're not going to go live as on the lives on the internet, but we're going to have a get together with everyone jumping on the Swift Arf, opening presents and telling us what they got. I'm loving it. I can't wait for it.
I can't wait. And will that show will presumably be out on the 20th, I guess?
Yeah, that'll be out on Friday the 20th. So it'll be a great weekend leading up to Christmas. Talking of Christmas, you sent me a link to Nuclear Races today.
They did. They put a cool reel. At first, I was disappointed because it only had like 5 likes on it. And then I checked, it'd only been up 30 minutes. So it doesn't matter. I'm sure it will get more love in the near future. But yeah, do you want to describe it?
Well, I'm going to say this is what's the Christmas one we look at? Is it John Lewis that we always wait for, the John Lewis Christmas advert?
It is. I'm disappointed this year, but we can move on to that in a second. But yeah, carry on.
Because this is the John Lewis Christmas advert of OCR. This is like Nuclear Races. They've set the standard now. Going forward, every year I'm going to be looking on Nuclear Races for their Christmas advert. So it's got some shopping going off. I like the idea of people carrying shopping bags, and it says you've been training all year to do this, and then it shows you Nuclear Races where they're carrying the milk churns or the concrete slabs. So I love it. It's a great little video. Not too long to watch, but I just love it. Christmas.
It is. Watch it, share it if you want, but definitely seek it out. And also, Nuclear Races are going a little bit, not all in on Nuclear Fit, but they're expanding Nuclear Fit, aren't they? In fact, they're actually having training days next year for it.
2025 training days. January and February's been announced, I think, so far, in April.
Yeah, they have. First few months of the year, you can go. It's interesting because we don't really see this in fitness racing a lot, where they actually teach you on the workout equipment. Like Hyrox does the PFT, but it's not the same as you going and then doing a skilled stay of pushing the sled, is it?
No, it's not. But this is what Nuclear is good at, because we've got a lot of training facilities out there, a lot of training centres, and I'm not going to start naming them because I could be in all day, but they don't put races on, so they try and mimic the obstacles that are in a race. Where Nuclear themselves, they actually put all their obstacles on their open days. So you can actually go and physically practice their obstacles. Maybe not in the order of a race day, when it comes to OCR, but you can go and practice all the obstacles, whichever one you want to do. And it's the same in Nuclear Fit. They're doing that in the Nuclear Fit. So it's, this is Nuclear Fit. You want to come and you want to do a training session, come down, do a training session. It's not the race, but we'll show you can learn stuff. You're going to learn how to carry the milk churn, which in the right way, or lift the tractor, or go and plough James's field for day if you want to go and do it.
I did actually wonder whether or not these were strategic days. Is it the planting season the next day?
It could very well. They're going to tread it's going to get them going up and down and then tread it all up into. They're going to just go down with the plants the next day. I like that idea.
Imagine, this is just me spitballing, giving ideas. Can you imagine if they did like a weekend where you could do obstacle training one day and Nuclear Fit training the other?
That would be a great idea. That reminds me of this summer camp they used to do. They could do that on Saturday and on a Sunday and stop over barbecue and everything on Saturday night. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
I'm getting nostalgic now. I wasn't invited because we didn't know each other back then, because I'd only was new to the scene and you were like 5 years in. But do you remember Reaper Fit, like when you had your stag do there?
Yeah, that was. You say you were invited. Everyone was invited to that. There wasn't no one who wasn't invited. But yeah, when I had my stag, that was that brings back memories when we all rocked up and no one had any idea what we were going to do. And who was it who did? Oh, the flying monkeys. No one had got flying monkeys to practice anywhere. So Reaper actually created a flying monkey for us, so we could practice on flying monkeys for the weekend. And who did we roll around? We rolled someone around in a tire around the fire in the evening. It was one of the most fun days at a training centre that I've ever done. And it was just literally playing on obstacles, just getting muddy, drinking, telling jokes, telling stories. Yeah, I miss things like that.
Shouldn't it? Flying monkeys, they've kind of died a death, haven't they?
Yeah, I think there's some obstacles that I'm going to say they're a little bit too hard, for a weekend warrior. And I like the fact that it's died, because it's not an easy thing to do. I think nuts have a very big gap on one of their monkey bars, and I think it was originally designed to do like flying monkeys, but you don't have to because if you get a good swing, you can just swing and trapeze over to it. To make it a flying monkey, it's got to be around about, I want to say about 2 meters long. Otherwise, you can probably touch it. And 2 meters is a big distance to actually, to leap in the air. It's not so bad for the elites, but for the fun runners, it's a bit far. And if you commit, it can be a little bit dangerous because you're not flying up in the air upright. You're actually flying with your legs leading. So, you're virtually horizontal to the floor, which means if you're not good enough and you haven't got good enough good enough core to actually twist to reach for the catch, you're going to land on your back. So it is a little bit dangerous in some respects. I think it'd be great if you were over water, but I think unless someone's going to do that, don't bring them back, people.
No, I think you're right. And then when we watch things like the 100-meter OCR, you will see some of the competitors treat some of the obstacles like flying monkeys, but you don't have to, do you? And we'll probably see a fair few of them this weekend, won't we, at FitFest?
100%. Yeah, the 100 meters going to be live streamed on YouTube, on UKOCR YouTube. So I'm changing jobs here. I'm filming. This week is my filming session, and we've got Will Chung, and hopefully this is, and I'm going to say this now because she hasn't 100% told me she's coming, but Claire Ross is going to jump on and do commentary for us. We will, which I think is absolutely quality.
That is super, super cool. I can't believe we finally put ourselves in the right places. You're there getting some awesome shots. We've got Will and Claire in the booth, and I'm as far away from doing any danger as possible.
Are you down there, though? You are down there at FitFest. Are you on down Saturday?
Yeah, I'm only there Saturday. It is our gym Christmas social on the Saturday, so I'm going to be there probably till about 1, 2 o'clock, depending on when they start charging me for parking at the hotel, and then I'll be mooshing fairly quickly. So I'll be there Friday night. May see some people Friday night. I'm doing some media, but it's a social visit. Matt's over, as you know. Will is down. Mike's down as well. Even though I've seen both Will and Mike a fair few times recently, but the more Will and Mike in your life, the better. But yeah, for me, I'll get a little bit of media. Probably catch some of the OCR stuff on the Saturday that we can do some reels with, Alan.
Absolutely brilliant. And if you can do that on Saturday, that'd be fantastic. Just pop them up as you want. Like I say, I'm going down Sunday. We're going to be live streaming on YouTube. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing.
It really is. And if you've never been to FitFest and if you're local to Birmingham area, I think there's still tickets to go down there. I think there's kind of like a cheat way to get in as well, in that I think they're doing a run there. I want to say the Miller's Run. Let me just double check. Beg your pardon. It is not the Miller's Run. It is the Cooper Run. Peter Schiller and Viola Oberlander will be taking on the Cooper Run. A Cooper Run is a maximum distance run in 12 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
And entry is only actually £20, which will give you access into the FitFest event itself. That is either the same price or slightly cheaper than a FitFest ticket, to just go and spectate. So
Wow.
it might be worth it just for that. And yeah, it looks super, super cool. Viola Oberlander, as we all know, is a great athlete, Team MyZone athlete. So, Alan, how far do you think you can run in 12 minutes?
My pace at minute, so my fastest race pace, I'm going to turn around and say is about 7 minutes 30 miles. So 1.5 to 1.75 miles. I mean that's that's me. I'm not fast anymore. You know what I mean? It's some of these people out there are running sub 6 minute, kilometers. So in theory, 12 minutes, they're going to get I think 2 miles. I think 2 miles. We'll see them probably get 2 miles in.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, close to 2 miles. So what is the 2 mile record? Is there a 2 mile record? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think there's a 5K record, which I think is probably just over 12 minutes. I won't say if I'm right. I'm sure it's 12 minutes something for 5K. So but we're talking like Olympic level athletes at that, aren't we?
Oh, we are, and yeah, so probably you're probably right. The winner will probably be somewhere between that 2 mile and the 3 mile. None of them are going to get 3 mile because then they'd be on course for setting a new 5K record. But yeah, it'll be super cool. I reckon my current pace, I might make a mile, maybe.
And there's nothing wrong with that, Ian. We all run at different paces, and this is one of the good things about OCR. And I've liked this, and I'm going to touch back a little bit onto the UK OCR series, and this is one of the things why we're bringing in this year age categories throughout. Because we want it to be. People love to be competitive, and when you get to a certain age, you can't be competitive with everyone. You can only be competitive with your own age group, and we want to get that bit of competitiveness back. Because for me, when I ran and I raced, when OCR first came up, I wasn't the fastest, but I could go to most local OCRs, finish top 5, big races, I was finishing top 50, that type of stuff. I was all right. I wasn't, absolutely brilliant. Now at my age, I'd be struggling to get in the top 100. I was pleased when I got 18th at ETM, but that was because I was just running constantly, you know what I mean? It was like, it is my gig, endurance running. So it's great that you can have events where at any age you can be competitive, and at our point, or even not at any age, at any ability you can be competitive, because we all run at different abilities, but we just come together to enjoy the sport.
We do, and we should just appreciate what we can do. Your mile is the same distance as anyone else's. Okay, they get to the bar quicker than you, but it's still a mile.
Yeah. I rabbited on a bit there, but I know where I meant anyway. So, yeah.
Hopefully, the listener does.
They're probably used to me rabbiting on a bit now sometimes. So.
Well, you get to put that to good use in Sunday when you're a natural rabbit.
When I'm a natural, yeah. Talking about that, if anyone wants to rabbit for us for the UK OCR series, please hit us up, because we're wanting to get as many rabbits going around the UK OCR series. Hit us up, let us know if you're free to run, and free to film for us. Let us know, because we want to get as many people involved in fetching OCR to the masses. And one of them is YouTube. Quite a few of his videos are getting good views now. So, and the more we get, the better it is. Will made a good point the other day about his videos for TM. I don't know if you know this, Ian, but he said to me, when he puts them out, he gets good views. He gets about 25% of his total views. However, like a month before the race, the one that he filmed the year before will get 75% more views to like top it up to whatever he's wanting to get. So if he gets like 100,000 views, he gets 25,000, then he gets 75 a month before the event. So, we just started, I think our views will go up nearer the event.
Agree. We actually see that with our podcasts as well, though, don't we? So when we do preview episodes of, particularly on UKHXR, even though we put new preview episodes out there, people will go back and listen to the old ones.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I don't get that from 2 years ago. People go back and listen to a podcast from 2 years ago. Hey ho, brilliant! Thank you for listening to them. Every listen counts.
And once again, if you're listening to this and the year is 2027, we hope it's nice.
We hope it's nice. And isn't there a song about that?
We hope it's nice, or 2027.
2027. I'm sure I've heard a song. In the year McFly or something like that.
I think you're thinking of the year 3000.
3000. There it is. I'm used to music.
Well, yeah, if you're listening to this in the year 3000, I guess it's because Spotify have taken over the world.
Do you still use Spotify?
I've always been a Deezer person. I will listen to Spotify for certain things, but I listen to the free version. I can't pay for two subscriptions,
Yeah.
and free give us Deezer relatively cheap. Well, Jen pays, so yeah, I get Deezer very cheap. Um, but yeah, I think Spotify's yeah, it's good. It does what it needs to do, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Talking about subscriptions and that, if any of our listeners have got a code for Strava, mine's run out, so I'm on normal basic Strava for the last month. So anyone's got a code, because I'm refusing to pay the price they're asking for the yearly subscription. So if anyone's got a code, hit me up. Let me know. I know there's some 50% codes out there, but I need one.
Sometimes I think they send me a code. I'll check and I'll let you know. Thinking about people listening to this in the near distant future, slightly arrogant to think about. But do you know this used to be in the 80s and 90s? Sorry, our younger listeners who it's like we're talking ancient history, but you would have all these movies where the world was messed up because for whatever reason people had been interpreting a text in a certain way when they really shouldn't have been. And it turns out it was like the TV guide. How messed up would the world be if people listened to the Swift Half as being a reflection of life in the 2020s?
Oh, that would be actually quite cool if people thinking about that in the year 2000. People look back at our podcast and go, "This is what life back in 2024." Oh, that would. Oh, just even thinking about that just blows my mind.
It does, but they'd think we're all mean to each other because we probably won't get the sarcasm, and they'd be convinced that Yorkshire people spend no money.
Spend zero money. And we fight over the border every week or so.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I
Oh
love that.
gosh. Let's move on. What's left on the list?
You've put one on the Sportograph. What is the Sportograph note? Because you haven't given me no inclination on this one, so I know nothing about this.
Okay, this is something interesting that's hit me. We've seen it in High Rocks, and I think we're probably going to see it in Spartan Tough Mudder. I can't remember if you ever purchased the Sportograph pictures from when we did High Rocks. I can't remember, but you've seen them, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
And they've always been kind of good. You know, they've put on that filter that makes you look amazing and that, you know, it makes you look like you've got muscles, even if you look like me and you.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're always good. Like Graham, our good friend Graham always jokes about Graham Wells. They were the same pictures every single time. You get you on the skier, you get you on the rower, you'd get the shot of you going doing the kettlebells and then the wall ball shots. Oh, and the sled shots. They'd be the same pictures all the time, but you would look amazing in them, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
This year, for whatever reason, they are not doing well when it comes to quality control. The pictures I am seeing are camera phone quality.
No. What do you think's happening? Are you still seeing the photographers on course?
You are still seeing photographers on course. There's probably even more of them.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening is because they got so tired, it's either a conscious choice of them for one reason that I'll get into in a second, or they got so tired of people saying, oh, when are pictures up, that they are uploading them as quickly as possible to sell them now. So like
Mhm.
after Friday, your pictures were already up. As you know, back in the day, it was you could race on the Saturday. You won't see the pictures to Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah. So the ones they're putting up though, are they the final photos or are they low res and then you purchase high res photos? Because I want to say Peachy Snaps used to do low res photos to promote them, but when you purchase them, they were high res photos.
What you see is what you get, I believe.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, and yeah, I was, you know, chatting because I chat to people and I did speak to a talk. I just asked a question, which was, you know, when do you guys get time to upload these? And they were saying, oh, we upload them in our breaks. So, you know, when they're working, so when we're in the breaks, that's when we upload them. So I'm not sure whether what's happening now is the photographers don't have control over the images. So maybe they go to a back office now and the back office puts the finishing touches because they're better than the basic shots because you can also look at the unedited ones, but
Yeah.
they're not that clear, crisp thing that you used to see. And maybe it's also due to the fact that back in the day, you had 3,000 athletes. At High Rocks this past weekend, you had close to 15,000.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot of work, that, isn't it? You know,
It,
15,000 photos, 10 photos each, 150,000 photos. Oof.
and it's not 10, it's 20, it's 30, it's 40.
Yeah. Ooh. 500,000 photos before you even blink.
Yeah. But the thing I'm not that happy with, the price has rocketed.
Oh, no. Go on, tell me. Tell me.
Back in the days, it was 20 quid to buy in advance
Yeah.
and then 22 on the after. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether it is because they got wise to the fact that people wouldn't pre-do it, they'd look at it and then decide whether to buy. But if you purchase after the event now, Alan, 40 quid.
So is it still 20 pre-event and 40 after?
I'd have to check the next time I pick up a ticket. But yeah, it's that's an awful lot of money.
It is. It's a lot of money. £20, I get 20 quid. You know what I mean? If you're going to get 15 plus photos, I'm going to say 15 plus photos for 20 quid, I get it. You know, because they're probably going to have taken 40 photos to give you your 15. So signing up front, and as a business, I guess they want the money up the front, because if they don't get it up the front, and then they don't sell them afterwards, then they're completely out of pocket. So I get they want to get everyone's money up front. Is it the right way though by saying it's 40 quid after the event? Ooh, I don't know, but maybe it'll get people to sign up for them early. I don't know. I wouldn't pay 40 quid for photos.
No, I don't think I've bought photos yet. But the problem is they get you money up front, and given the quality is going down,
That's yeah.
you then think, why bother? Because it's not a secret now that the quality is going down. There was a post on it the other day on the High Rocks group about it. So it's becoming maybe Sportograph are struggling to scale up. And we've seen this in Spartan and in Tough Mudder too, in that I think the early events were great. But someone joked that they believe Sportograph is basically hiring anyone who has access to a camera now.
And I think that is probably right. I do believe that they want more photos than they do. What I use when we go to our event, we use a local camera club, and we pay our local camera club, and they do whatever they want with it. But they have control over the photos in terms of they only give me the ones they want to do because they use them for their portfolios as well. And I like that because they're getting something out of it and we're getting something out of it. In this instance, this is a business, Ian. So them as a business, what they're doing is they're just saying, here it is, here's his photos, we want someone in, what camera have you got? And they go, I've got a Canon. They go, right, that's fair enough, that's all I need to know, you've got a Canon, that's fine, you can have it. Not a blah 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 model, and to get the top range, because we spoke to people and that to get the top range cameras, you're talking £15,000 to get the ultimate, camera, a high quality camera that takes high quality pictures. And from my knowledge, I think they got out of date like within 2 years, probably with even less than 2 years, I want to say. So these people aren't going to have the best cameras, and we know our phones are getting better. They're getting more pixels on our phone. So maybe they're looking even the photos maybe looking shoddier because our phones are getting better.
Potentially, but yeah, it's one of them things. Definitely watch this space, listener. I guess the top tip at the moment is if you do want photos at your High Rocks and you don't have a mate there with camera phone, then pay up front and you buy your ticket, you take your chance. That I guess. I will say what's interesting is the High Rocks group now will not allow advertisements of personal photographers because quite a few people who do photography in their spare time were seeing this as a nice way of just following someone around, charging them 20 quid and getting them as many pictures as they want from the spectator area, which yeah is a nice earner for them. But I actually agree with High Rocks. I don't think that is a great thing to do because at the end of the day, Sportograph do have that contract,
Yeah.
and it's not fair to Sportograph for someone to do that. It's almost like video piracy, Alan.
Yeah, it's all about video piracy. Talking about video piracy, though, or video in general, and photos at IROX, I've heard that people are actually hiring their own video photographers to film them going around IROX. Is that right?
Yeah, some people are doing that, presumably for sizzle reels on Instagram. And I've got mixed feelings on this, Alan. Do you want to know what the feelings are?
Go on.
From a videographer point of view, I am all in favor of it because it's a tough job. Yeah, there's only so much work out there, and if someone is going to pay you money to follow them around and get some video, and you're good at your job, perfect. From the athlete's point of view, you need to be doing it for the right reason. This is the equivalent of going to Alton Towers and getting those videos on the rides. It's great for you, but don't think it's instantly going to be you splash that on Instagram, you get 10,000 followers, and My Protein is giving you 100 grand a year to promote their supplements.
That is a very good thought because, yeah, I can see people doing that. In fact, I am seeing people doing that on Instagram quite a lot. You know, that they're putting stuff on and instantly trying to get followers, thousands of followers. Do they get them? Yeah. But will they be valued followers? No. They're just followers at the end of the day, aren't they? I'd sooner have the followers that we've got that are followers and are interested in what we do and interact with us rather than just a load of bots.
I absolutely love all of our followers. And yeah, I do have a lot of sympathy for people who think that Instagram is this magical key to making a lot of money. It's not, it's a hobby for most of us. Unless you are someone who could probably already make it in the entertainment industry, it's a hobby. It's probably, yeah. Will one or two people make it big? Yes. One or two people win the lottery too, including Euro Millions.
Yeah, they do.
It's the way it goes. And buying a Euro Millions ticket is a lot cheaper and a lot easier than doing a High Rocks and getting a videographer to follow you around. But let's finish on a couple of positive topics. One, High Rocks London, loved it. In particular, loved spending time with Mike Noland on the sled push on the Saturday. Obviously, loved running around with Jen. That was fine. She hurt her ankle a little bit, so we did a sexy pace event where we just went with the floor, and I probably look how far I've come, Alan. I had to not carry Jen because that's something that'll never happen. She's a far better athlete than me, but I had to do more than my fair share for the first time ever. So yeah, look how far I've come on that. The other thing is positive news. Deadly Dozen, Alan, and maybe we talk about this again next week because we've got a podcast coming out with them and we can maybe discuss that podcast. But amongst other things, they're getting into gyms. And if you're looking for something to do between now and Christmas, they are doing a Deadly Dozen erg workout at the Athlete Factory in Chester. And how much is it, Alan? You've got the link.
I've got the link. I'm going to check. Currently, £45 for solos, or do it as a pair for 60 quid, 30 quid each. That pair sounds perfect.
It does. 21st of December, Athlete Factory Chester. You could either go do your Christmas shopping or you could go and do that. In fact, Alan, I think it's 2 p.m. You could go and do your Christmas shopping in Chester and then go and do that. What a day.
Love it, love it. That's what amazing. What's Chester like for shopping?
Oh, Chester is amazing. Have you, Paulo, never been?
Never been to Chester, no.
You absolutely need to go to Chester. Okay, it's got similar shops to every other city, but they're set out so uniquely and they've got so many lovely, cool little bars and that kind of thing there. I'm sure Kieran McAvoy, who's listening to this, will chirp in and let you know, but it's definitely worth going. He can make better suggestions than I can, but it's a destination shopping place. You know, a bit like York. Have you ever been to York shopping?
I have, yes. I love York.
Yeah. If you love York, you'll love Chester.
Fantastic. I went to Harrogate this week, and that was nice as well.
Oh, I don't think I've ever been Harrogate. I've been to the army base once. We played American football on it, listener. I wasn't doing sabotage or anything. But yeah, been to the army base. I don't think I've ever been into Harrogate. Is Harrogate like an ye old Yorkshire town?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Very expensive, I'm going to say. A lot of the shops are very expensive, but not the normal shops that you would find in most high streets. So a bit different. Some very quirky things, some nice art shops, some really good, like, I want to say like bric-a-brac shops. We can buy some nice little Christmas stocking fillers and things like that. So yeah, I loved it.
No, I need to get to Harrogate. But I think Jen's been. I think she went to the tea rooms that they have there.
Betty's Tea Rooms. Yeah.
Betty's Tea Rooms. Yeah, she went there. And then I think she went to Betty's Cocktail Bar.
Betty's Cocktail Bar. That's the way to go, Ian. That's the way to go.
Right. Have we got through all the notes, or is there anything else we need to cover?
No, I think we've done it. Everything's on my list.
Right. Well, listener, it's not next week we're doing Secret Santa, is it? It's week after.
Week after.
Right. So we will speak to you next week. Thanks for listening as always, and it's the goodbye from me.
And listeners, thank you for listening again. We've been rabbiting on quite a bit today. But if you like what you hear, don't forget to join our Patreon. In the meantime, you take care, you stay safe, and you keep on running. And we'll speak to you all soon. Bye.